We're back with some recent updates about our favorite player from the Big Three, Novak Djokovic, who, surprise, surprise, is involved in yet another controversy. And this time, the entire thing is ridiculous, and his wife, Jelena, has come to his aid. In today's video, we'll be getting into why the world of tennis is currently busy discussing the exact contents of Djokovic's drink in the Paris Masters. Crazy, right? First up, here's everything you need to know. So, a video went viral recently from the Paris Masters, where Djokovic's physio, Ulysse Bido, was recorded mixing a drink for the champ. What's so special about it? Well, something dodgy was going on because of how discreet the athletes team was trying to be, and they failed at it spectacularly. We'll get into the details a bit later, but first, here's something that you need to know about this. As a true knight in shining armor, the Serbian player's wife has come to his rescue, clearly declaring that nothing dodgy was going on. Here's the thing, we sort of agree with Jelena, but the way everyone handled this situation is a lesson in what not to do if a celebrity gets involved in a controversy. Now, what was happening in the video? So, during the Paris Masters, an eagle-eyed spectator caught Djokovic's team doing something rather suspicious. What was it? They were making a drink for the player. But this raises quite a bunch of questions. How is this suspicious? Why does the world care? Sadly, we don't have the answers to any of them, but we can tell you why the video went viral. Okay, someone was filming the tennis player's physio mixing a drink for the man of the hour. But when one of the staff members saw them recording, they got up and began shielding Bido from the camera. Alright, we get it. It was odd. But did they have to blow all this out of proportion? Following up, let's see what Jelena had to say about this situation. The video, which has gained more than 15 million viewers up till now, was posted on Twitter by a writer, Damian Riley. And, well, if you've seen it making rounds on the internet, then we're certain that you've also come across the rather shady and clickbait caption. Damian Riley wrote that whatever was going on in the video was extremely dodgy, and he wasn't sure why it was done weirdly. Jelena Djokovic, being the true supporter of her husband, didn't waste any time coming to her beau's help. She directly replied to the tweet, saying that there was nothing dodgy going on there, in her opinion. But that's not all. She said that the only thing she could see in the video was people trying to go about their private stuff and being rudely spied on by a stranger. She also mentioned that in today's world, everyone feels they have a right to point their camera anywhere and everywhere. And she concluded by saying, apparently, wanting/trying to be private makes you dodgy nowadays. Well, you said it, girl. And might we weigh in for a bit here? That was an iconic way of dealing with this situation. Up next, can we expect a response from the players' team? So, if a player is wrapped up in such a weird scandal, you can expect them to respond in a day or two. But that's not the case for Djokovic. He's taking his sweet, sweet time. It's not only him. The players' team has also yet to release an official statement on this issue. However, Jelena Djokovic thinks there isn't any need to comment on the situation. She said that her husband would talk about it in his own time, whenever he was ready to talk. The woman lashed out over here, saying that people couldn't expect someone to talk about anything if they weren't ready. So she asked everyone to mind their business and told them they needed to understand that everything they saw on social media didn't have to be controversial. Some things could be private. To be honest, it seems like she's tired of her husband being very often sucked into controversies. So now Jelena just wants the public to let him be. And well, we couldn't agree more. Moving on, what does Djokovic have to say for himself? Until now, the player hasn't said much about this incident, which is creating greater controversies. And besides, it is worth noting that this isn't the first time Djokovic has found his drinking habits being investigated. Last July, during the Wimbledon Championships, the athlete was seen inhaling something from his water bottle. Okay, that's suspicious. Interestingly, when he was asked about it, but the player said it was a magic potion everyone would soon find out about. Besides that, Djokovic laughed and said he'd soon release his line of supplements. Well, we have a theory. Maybe everyone was being super secretive about it because they were creating the drink using the player's super secret formula. Now, you can't hold that against him, can you? Next up, is the player responsible for the widespread controversy? Okay, so hear us out. We don't think that this was a big deal. It definitely shouldn't have gathered so much attention. 15 million views isn't something small, but to some extent, the player is at fault over here. You see, it's not just that he's been involved in ridiculous controversies so many times. It's also because he hasn't been able to handle it all well. Now, we can safely assume that the player's team was in no shape or form, giving him an illegal drink, but rather they were mixing up some electrolytes, something most players know to take. That's no problem at all. But if that's the case, then we don't see what problem Djokovic might have encountered by talking about it with the public and talking about Jelena's response. Is the man not ready to talk about what sort of electrolytes he takes? Is that a difficult subject? Either we're missing something or the Djokovic have got something cooking. Following up, fellow tennis players are commenting on this ridiculous controversy. John Millman, the world's number 155th tennis player, took time out of his busy schedule to reveal what was happening at the Paris Masters. And guess what? It was absolutely nothing. Millman posted a tweet that basically pointed out the obvious facts that everyone had forgotten about for some reason. The player mentioned that this process was happening in a full stadium with cameras everywhere. The chances of anything fishy going on were very less. The player urged everyone to use a bit of logic here. He also revealed that this wasn't uncommon, as tennis players were often seen mixing drinks in locker rooms. Thank you, Millman, for finally bringing some rationality to the whole situation. That's all good, but it still doesn't explain all the secrecy. Well, maybe it was because the team didn't want Djokovic's rivals to see what supplements he uses. Lastly, what could be going on with the drink mixing? You agree that too much attention is being given to team members mixing sports drinks, but you've also got to agree that none of this would have happened if the player had been open about it since day one. Obviously, he doesn't need to tell the public every detail. We don't want him to list all the supplements he takes and the dosage he's been recommended, but he could have also given a no-nonsense response, saying that he was taking supplements or electrolytes and didn't want to go into details. People probably would have left him alone. One probable explanation that comes to our mind for all of this is that he's actually using his products and isn't set to release them just yet, so the team thought that they would rather act in this suspicious manner than incur the wrath of Djokovic. But it could also be that they didn't want to let go of a possible sponsorship deal. Okay, we might be grasping at straws here, but bear with us. It's possible that the player is holding talks with a possible sponsor for a brand endorsement deal, and the product he was using wasn't out yet. Both of these explanations sit well with what the player said in July about his line of supplements coming in soon. One thing we can be sure of is that there wasn't anything illegal going on, because, well, the team would have done a much better job at hiding the entire thing if the player was doing something against the rules. That's a wrap for this video, folks. What do you think was in the bottle? Do you think the player was doing something illegal, or is this a huge misunderstanding blown out of proportion? Let us know what your opinion is in the comments down below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more awesome videos like this. See you in the next one with the latest updates.